exciting? I don't know why. I'm always surprised every time it goes live. I'm the one who pressed the button.
I know I can be just as surprised when it doesn't go live,
That's
right?
true.
Um, and I never know. I hack my way through everything. It's pretty
Love that, Cynthia. And by the way, hi. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
good to see you, Sherry. I love all your red accents today.
Thank you. I'm trying to match my marigolds in the background for Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
So
it's very nice. Very nice.
I just want to do like a little tiny intro. Cynthia is the founder of Kindred SF Homes, and that makes you a business owner, a realtor. You are also host of one of my favorite named podcasts, which is Real Estate Therapy, which I love. I love that name. And aside from that, you're a writer, you're a writing teacher, you're a musician, you're an amazing person, you're someone who likes to talk about things that matter. And I so appreciate all of that. I've loved our previous conversations. And I love that we were just like, hey, let's talk. My book, The Love List of a Lifetime, is launching. And you are one of the people I interviewed. And so we've got all kinds of things to talk about when it comes to homes and end of life and probably so much else. So, hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you for all those wonderful things that you said. I sound like I'm really stretched way too thin. I'm trying to pay attention to the things that matter, and all those things matter to me. And I love it that we're having this conversation.
I know. And you know what you just said, which I'm just going to echo because it's everything, right? I mean, it's kind of like what my whole book is about, right? Paying attention to the things that matter. And there are so many things when it comes to who we are and how we live our lives, both while we're here and also while we're looking to that very big possibility that we won't be one day, right? So I know there's so many things you and I have connected on around this topic. Today, I feel like it would be really great to talk about since you deal with people and their homes. And one of the things about our homes is that we put a lot of stuff in them sometimes.
Some of us put more stuff in them than others.
Right. So can we just talk about like either your personal experiences with when we're thinking about all this stuff we own, and that it's actually our responsibility to consider what's going to happen to all of this stuff one day.
Right.
Wherever you want to go with that.
Right. Well, I don't know. I had I was listening to you, and I had a whole bunch of little thoughts. One is that your book is sitting right about 2 feet over that way, and I was going to pick it up and display it.
Oh,
but my microphone's doing some weird stuff, so I don't want to move around too much. But the first thing I want to say is I just started going through the love list of a lifetime, and I think it's so valuable. And I plan to give it to several friends and family members in my life because I think it'll help them get off the dime and start thinking about that day when they won't be here.
Thank you for that. I'm super grateful. I love that.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know how many times you're quoted in there, but a few, or maybe more than a few.
Well, I haven't had a chance to go through and look in detail, but I'm going to. I'm going to put highlighter everywhere that I appear. But the thing that came up, so you were saying, we get stuff in our houses, and as a realtor, and I've been quote selling houses for more than 35 years, I almost every time I go to somebody's house, they will say, "Oh, we didn't have time to clean up," or, "Oh, don't look over there." There's often this, "Don't look over there." and it's because there's like a pile of stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's the people who have no awareness of just how many things they've accumulated, and they wouldn't even think to say, don't look over
Yeah.
things.
Oh, interesting.
So there's people who are aware, people who are not aware. Um, everybody has their own thing with possessions and cluttering and decluttering. And then there's the people where you go, where I think, what's wrong here? They don't have anything.
Oh,
Nothing, nothing's out of place. Like where do they put their tissue box? Right? You know,
right.
where does um, the pile of recycling go? It's kind of frightening. So
So,
there's a little bit of everybody has their style.
yeah. And so I'm guessing, Cynthia, that one of the things that happens for you is that you're with people, of course, when they first buy their house, but also when people are selling their homes, or probably during that really hard time, I'm guessing, of someone has passed away and now there's a house and now what? Maybe you could talk about that a little bit, because I feel like the stories that I've heard ever since I've been researching this book, there's been a lot of hard stories about the stuff that's left in a home, not even to mention all of the other stuff around who gets the home and what happens to it and all of that, but simply the things that are in there.
Yeah, the things that are in there, it's no matter what, it's so sad when someone has died and their loved ones are going through their house and thinking, oh, there's her piano. And oh, that's the chair that she liked to sit in. And oh gosh, I forgot about this waffle maker that we got back in 1972. And we were so excited. So, at its very best, there are these objects that are imbued with memories, feelings, but at the very least, sadness
Yes.
about the passing of this person. And then at its worst, it's this onslaught of crap for, for, I mean, that's not a very good word, but people are left with the chore of going through all that stuff. And now we're talking about twist ties for bread wrappers, or
Yeah.
coasters collected from bars for the last 50 years, or, you name it. Pens, souvenir pens, Christmas cards, school papers, books, textbooks. The list just goes on and on.
Yeah.
Electronics that don't work. And the cumulative effect of it is so defeating and deflating. And then one thing that happens is there's just a lot of resentment that starts to build up. Resentment and regret. So it's nice to think about it ahead of time.
Well, yeah. So, do you have these conversations with clients? And first, wait, before you say that, I just want to say hi to Jean, who's hanging out. Jean, this is a Facebook Live, so there's no way to actually join us, but you are here with us in spirit, and I can see your comments. So, hi, Jean. Cynthia, do you have these conversations with your clients? Do you help them in advance? Or is this more just something like personally you have a lot of interest in because of what you see?
Well, I have a lot of interest in it because of what I see.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd like to say that I'm an exemplary role model for not letting things get out of hand, but that just would not be true. Because, just ask my partner and he'll say, look at her tea collection, and you'll know just how out of control she is. But often I meet people, sometimes they're new to me, and they're just now dealing with the contents of a house, whether it's their own because they're thinking about moving, or it's a loved one who's passed away. And this is where I try to offer advice, and I try to help people get around it in a sort of psychological way. But there's so many psychological elements that come into to play that it's kind of hard to first of all be people don't know to ask for advice, and then if
Right.
I foist it upon them, it feels a little
Right.
intrusive. Um,
Right.
and
Right.
But if they ask, I have all kinds of tricks up my sleeve and writings that I can share with them.
Well, yeah, I know, we don't have a whole lot of time, but I would love some of the tricks that are up your sleeve for sure. Do you have like maybe a favorite couple?
Yeah, let's think about maybe two or three of them. Well,
Yeah.
one that I think you and I've talked about before is the take a photo of it, take a photo of the thing, and then throw it away.
Yes.
So, and maybe you recycle it, maybe you give it away, maybe you sell it, maybe it goes to the dump, but don't keep it just because it's imbued with some kind of meaning. I mean, we all know these things that have been sitting around in boxes for decades and that we've never even looked at. And so, what is the value of that?
Yeah.
And that brings me to another tip, which
Okay.
is assessing present value. What is this worth to me right now? If I was at a yard sale,
Uh-huh.
would I buy this thing?
Yeah.
And usually the answer is no. Or, right, I wouldn't
Yes.
buy this thing.
Right.
And so if you're not buying it, if you wouldn't buy it at a yard sale, why would you buy it now? Because
Oh,
by keeping it, you're buying it now. You're either paying for storage or it's causing psychological clutter in your life. So what is it worth to you?
that's a good. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to say that is a really helpful question to ask. Would I buy this right now? You're right. I love that. I love
Right.
that question.
And I think another thing is almost everybody, this is related to that, has a skewed idea about the value of things, and that's because of something called there's a principle involved, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it's called endowment, the endowment principle, where something is automatically more valuable once you own it.
Oh, yes. I've heard something like that. That is right.
Right. So I think that's when it's good to get a little check-in from a professional organizer or even a friend who could follow you around, use Google Lens or something and say, oh, this teapot that you think's worth $200 because your mother bought it in Chinatown in 1958, it's actually, they're selling them on eBay for a quarter. These are good reality checks.
I love that one. I've gone through this. I had a grandmother who brought us up with the teaching, save it. Save it, it's going to be worth something.
Yeah.
And that was Avon bottles and milk glass and fancy designer plates that she had all over. Save it, save it, save it. And just like you're just saying, right? She had a house full. I mean, I hope she loved them. I hope she got a lot of enjoyment from them because they're not worth anything, right? Because every other family in America was saving the same Avon bottles at the same time. And I love the point you're making to get that reality check rather than just because we're so sentimental, right? Like, oh, grandma had those for 50 years. They must be worth something.
Right. Well, not only must we say that, but we must honor our loved one by going along with whatever crazy thing she had in mind, right?
Right.
And I don't mean, I'm not maligning,
No.
but just because your cousin saved Reader's Digests for 38 years doesn't mean that they have any value anymore.
Cynthia, this is so good. I know you and I have talked that I have someone who's very close to me whose mother passed away. And it's so hard watching this person go through because those things meant so much to her. that Bob Dylan collection of books and music and albums and you name it, paraphernalia. And it's such a hard place, right? Because it's like you want to honor them and you want to carry their spirit forward, but maybe that's not your thing.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts? I mean, I don't expect you to really know what to do with these things, but
Well, I bet this is in your love list book. I don't know because I haven't read it all yet. But there's all kinds of rituals and that we can use for handling this if we're the bereaved uh, goer througher of the house, or if we're the loved one who's thinking about end of life. I mean, I feel like it would be a real service and something that would give one's life meaning to sit down and maybe pick out 10 objects or 10 prized possessions that really meant something. And then either videotape or audio tape or write down
yes,
why this one Bob Dylan record was important,
yes,
what it meant to me when I first heard it, a story. Tell a
yes.
story, because anything can be born, anything can be handled if you tell it as a story. But when you have all these meaningless contents lying around, it's just depressing.
And I thought what you were going to say, which is also like another angle on this, which is what I'm trying to do, which is to look at things and think, who would really love this? And I've done some fun things on social media sometimes where I found things that I was like, I don't have anybody in my life that wants this thing. But if I posted on, I had some Star Trek book from the 1950s or 60s or whatever, and I was like, somebody might want this. And they do, right? And there's a great joy in finding someone who actually really loves whatever that particular. Now, we can't do that. I mean, I have so many things. I would spend the rest of my life doing that. But I for an example, and I'm trying also to check in with everyone I love. Hey, the kinds of things I have. What's meaningful to you, if anything? Do you want anything? And then to your point, I'm also creating a document for it with the story. So I have a friend who said, a couple months ago, she was like, oh, I love that necklace. That's the thing I would want from you. And so, I have a little thing about like where the necklace came from, the moment we were sharing. I know why she wants it, why it was meaningful to her. And I'm documenting that because, she may forget by the time I die, who knows? But I do love, and as a writing teacher, I know, right? You have a profound love of the meaning of stories.
Right. Words mean a lot. I mean, you could write a haiku about these objects. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And then there's the things that, I mean, if we're going through, if there's a lot of possessions, I mean, we just have to weigh them. A lot of it, we can't know its dispensation. We don't know who's going to want it, and we don't have time to figure that out. We don't even have time to figure out if it has any value for sale. And that's when I think it's good to do the thing that's most expedient to get the thing away from you so that somebody else can find it. It's a coat that they need for the winter. It's a piece of art that will brighten their little room. It's a tool that they enjoy refurbishing and then selling on eBay themselves. Whatever it is, somebody else might want it. And even if it's going to landfill, there's a lot of people who go to landfills to find objects and things that have value.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So when you say, oh, it's just going to go in the landfill, that's not necessarily the end. It's not necessarily going in the ground.
I like that, Cynthia. I want to say hi, Senjen. It's good to see you. I know we only have a couple minutes, and I feel like we could talk about this one particular topic for a long, long time. But I like what you're really also saying, and I want to leave, I think, with this point. Like for me, it's Community Thrift in San Francisco, which is a thrift store that I happen to like to go there. They donate to charities. There's just like so for what you're talking about, like I just went through a bunch of clothes that nobody, I don't know anybody wants those clothes. So, but I know community thrift is a great, easy drop off place for things. And so I like what you're saying. Like, if you can get rid of it and you can do it quickly and it's something people don't want, donate it somewhere. Yeah. And if it's something that you think someone in your family might want, ask them. Right. I think that's important. And then, yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, I love pulling up to the dock at Community Thrift, and I mean, recently I had to purge a lot of stuff. I tried to sell a bunch of clothes at Buffalo Exchange because somebody said, "Oh, take them down there and sell them." I had all these amazing clothes. It took 3 hours of my time to pull it together, take them down there, stand there while they went through them, and they gave me about $10. And my time, so it felt much better to take it all to Community Thrift, knowing that it would rise to its value somehow, and I didn't have to be part of it. I could just say, goodbye.
I know. I love that. And it reminds me of one other favorite thing for me, which is there are now, there's things like Next Door Neighbor, whatever that site's called. And there's also like a lot of like neighborhood free things, boards. I get so much delight I actually like it when someone rings the bell and I had someone pick up a bunch of crocheted things that my grandmother had made that I did not know what to do with. We have so many. And she was delightful. She was so happy. And to be able to hand something to someone that wants it. So there's also that. We may have to continue this conversation.
I think it'd be good to have more of this conversation, and we could just get together every now and then, and we'll go through my long list of tips and tricks, 1 or 2 or 3 at a time. I would love that.
Cynthia, I would love that too. I'm going to hold you to that. We're going to be back maybe as early as next week or the week after, as soon as I can get you, because this is great. And I think that the way that we're talking about it, it helps. I hope it helps whoever's listening right now or later. Like, start now. Whatever age you are, let's not wait. Let's not wait to go through our things and ease that burden on ourselves too. Right? It's nice to let go.
That's a good way to add more time to your life, is to make expedient decisions about this sort of thing.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a horrible, horrible chore. It really doesn't have to be.
I love that. I love that so much. And thank you, Cynthia. It's just always such a joy to connect with you. And I love your interest and your curiosity and your compassion around a lot of these topics, because it's not easy, but I love that you sort of bring the practical, and also that, like, yeah, I know this is hard, and let's do it. That kind of.
Well, thank you, Sherry. And I love celebrating life with you. Every conversation with you is a delightful opportunity to play and have some depth to interaction. So thank you.
I love it. Well, we'll see you again soon. Mwah. Thank you for your time. Bye. And I think I'm going to post your writing website in the comments, just in case anybody's interested in maybe coming to see you in that way. So
yeah, I have a few retreats already planned for 2026. So that would be great.
Good. All right. Bye. Thank you. And thanks to anybody who's here now or watching later. Bye-bye.